My wallet is sobbing. I can hear it. I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down, crying.
It turns out that Attila, the arrogant so-and-so, he's got a fake hammer.
Oh, a fake?
Yeah.
Whoa. As I say, dick.
So welcome to episode 86 of the Your Legions podcast. Another one on the, what did we say, Mal? Pathway to Legions Con? Maybe not the road.
The path to Legions Con, yeah.
And this week we're going to have two more interviews with more people from the First Alliance corner that we talked to Anthony and Chris about last week. So we're going to have, later on, we're going to have Immortal Collections and we're going to have Borderland Hoard. So looking forward to chat to them. But Mal is not able to stick around for that part of the show. So we decided to get on here first and talk about a couple of the new reveals in the community. So we got the Frankenstein's creature from the Figura Obscura, which we did talk a little bit about with the two boys last week. And Mal has got his in hand. Not jealous at all. Rich has got label created and I've got FedEx Luxembourg warehouse dystopia till next Wednesday.
till that delivery date.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Bang on that, you know. It's like they're full of French people working there, but they're definitely doing the German thing of, you know, just on time.
Maybe that's what I was going to say. Maybe that's why it is so daft. It's because it's not the Germans doing efficiency. It's someone else doing German efficiency.
Rich, how are you? You ain't no monster?
No. That was my play on creature versus monster. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody only watches each week to see what sort of hilarious little or clever tagline I come up with on my name. So,
yeah.
Cheers, Mal. Thanks for that nod.
It was more like there's somebody thinking it's hilarious and clever anyway.
I keep telling my family I'm a comedy genius, and they keep slapping me back down and going, "Yeah, of course you are." Yeah.
Yeah, don't make me laugh like that. I still have this cough, you know. It's going to make a tricky podcasting cause an edit point, which I never want.
You saying about your FedEx, John? I had an interesting encounter with the local post office, or not post office, the local Royal Mail here yesterday. I regularly get them to come pick up the parcels from my house now. It's cheaper and quite frankly easier. So they give you a time slot where they're going to come and collect the parcel. And the postman turned up an hour before that yesterday, and I was still putting the stuff together, so I wasn't ready for him. So I was like, "I'm sorry, dude, not ready, can't do it." And he just threw a meltdown. Like,
oh, really?
Arms were in the air. Well, I'm going to have to come back tomorrow then. And I was like, I paid for today. No. And he just got stroppy as you like. It was hilarious. He stormed off, like properly stormed off. Came back 2 hours later. He could not have apologized anymore. He's like, "I'm really sorry. I was having a bad day. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have taken it out on you." Like,
oh my God. Yeah. He'd got a text from his significant other, just before he pulled up to your house telling him something.
Yeah.
That he hadn't done properly or something. And
he went from complete lunatic to nicest man on the planet. He must have apologized 10 times.
God. Yeah, I think that's a little bit like road rage, You often see people that are road rage, or even if you're sitting in a car with someone that you haven't driven with before and they're a monster behind the wheel and you're like, wow, didn't know that about you. Well, speaking of German efficiency, today I had a good one. So last week, my router blew out. So the internet router. So if you caught, I think the start of last week's episode, the bit we recorded, I had to do it on through the phone internet. So it was a little bit laggy on my side. The audio was fine, but the video was a little bit laggy when we were recording. And I bought a new router and fixed that all up. It was, it was just completely dead. But at the same time that happened, the light switch in the office, where is my wife's office, where the router is, the lights wouldn't come on. And I changed all the bulbs, nothing would work. So I'd called this electrician's firm to come out, and they were coming out today in the afternoon. So I was home waiting for them. So they came and they took a look at it and they took out the light switch and they took all, the light fitting out, and they were testing it with the electrical. So there's no power going to this thing. They went down to the box. Everything was in order down at the, the electrical switch box. And they were like, is there any other switches in the room? And so we found one light switch that just was for something else in the past that, it's a house from the 70s. So sometimes there's and that room is one of the rooms we haven't had renovated since we moved in 15 years ago. And sometimes there is a switch that just does nothing that obviously did something in the past, So we found a couple of those and it was no joy. And he was like, I'm going to have to go and rip out the corner of the wall where there's a kind of a box there, that I can see if there's something wrong there. And I was like, okay, I can, paint it and, fix it up. And he goes, are you sure there isn't another switch? And then I said, you know what? My wife told me that this used to be a bedroom. So maybe there is something behind these shelves, So I pulled out his bookshelves, and behind the bookshelves there was a switch, and it's where she had a lot of her school folders or whatever. And the switch was somehow she had put a folder back in there, and it had made the switch go not on and not off, just half, and that cut the electricity to the other switch because the switches were linked. So when one is on, the other one can. But by some fluke of whatever way, something had been put on this shelf, and you can't see the switch because there was so many books on the shelf. It had basically made the switch half and half. So the guy was about to rip the wall down, and then I was like, I flicked the switch, and then he was like, "Oh, it works again." I was like, "Oh my god!" So there you go. 1 hour 15 minutes. 1 hour 15 minutes for two electricians to basically fix the problem myself, with their help, of course. But yeah. So that's
an expensive folder incident, that one, John.
yeah. I mean, I was kind of glad my wife wasn't here. It was obviously. I didn't have a clue that switch was there. She knew it was, but had no, took no heed to it, But yeah, I'm glad she wasn't there because she might have been embarrassed. I didn't care. It's I was just trying my best bad German, And and then the other thing, this was all done in through me. They were Eastern European, speaking German, heavily accented. I was trying to speak a mixture of Luxembourgish, which I can speak, and German, which I'm not very good at speaking anymore since school. So I was trying to meet halfway in the middle of there, So we got there. So all good. Just cost probably the price of a couple of Mythic Legions there for absolutely nothing, but it was important to get it fixed.
Absolutely,
yeah. Definitely.
Every time she went into
needed more doing.
Yeah, true. And every time she went into the office this week, she, let out a big swear word every time she touched the switch because she realized the switch didn't work. She had to walk across the room to switch on the desk lamp. So, all fun and games.
There's nothing worse than getting a contractor in. And obviously, I don't know about them. In the UK, they charge by the hour.
It was.
And you get them in, and they're done in 15 minutes. And you're like, I'm going to pay for an hour. I'm like, God damn it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they charge you from. No, I mean, it's never been anything dodgy here, but they charge you as well from the time that they leave the previous job. So they charge. Charge you the travel.
They're on your job then. Yeah,
within limit. I mean, they're from a village or a town 15 minutes away. So the max they could charge is 15 minutes. So they'll always charge you the 15-minute travel time, even if they're in the same village, unless they're really obviously in the same town, It's just how they make the money, But in a way, these days, it's just good to be able to get an electrician to come out, because I don't know how about theirs. I mean, if I could speak just one more language, I could definitely do a bit of a handyman stuff, and that would be a nice little learner, I think. Because people, they have to call a company to get people to come out, When I was a kid, it was just called the local handyman, and he came around and he could fix your boiler, he could fix your tap, he could fix your electricity. There isn't those people anymore.
No, it's totally different now, isn't it? Absolutely,
totally is. So yeah, that's my tale of woe for this week, and hopefully there won't be any more of that. The router was 250 quid. That's probably another couple of £100 just for nothing.
Yeah.
and having to put up with the kids. Oh, they weren't too bad, but they were just moaning that there was no internet, obviously enough. They got caught up in their homework pretty quick, though.
At least they were just moaning. Mine had been threatening me with knives and all sorts if you had to go without the internet. For a period
Oh,
of time.
no. I had another thing this morning, actually, my youngest. So he gets up early, but I have the iPads on a screen time thing that doesn't work before 7. And they need to leave for school for 7:30. So if they get up early in the morning and they're ready, they could watch a bit before heading out the door with their breakfast or whatever. But I never do it for his sister because she's never up in time. There's no point in me putting this limit on. And because she got up so late the previous morning and I got mad with her, that then she got up really early this morning and got ready, and she's sitting there and her iPad's working and his isn't. And he said, I was still in bed, and he sent me a message, from his iPad to my phone saying, "This isn't fair." And he was obviously doing voice to text because he's lazy. And it messed it up and it started to go, and then he said, "Sorry, the iPad pooped my message." And then he said, I was showing my wife this evening. She laughed for about 10 minutes. And I just came down and I looked at him and I said, "Don't be sending me messages like that." And he went, "Okay." Because at that stage, the iPad was working. It's important to have limits, When he eventually does get, his own device, he'll appreciate it,
Yeah. You got to love autocorrect and that sort of stuff, don't you? I sent Kerry a text message once, and what I meant to type was, "I just jumped on a bus," and what I actually sent was, "I just jumped on a husband," because I typed HUS instead, and it autocorrected and filled it in. I got to going, "What the hell?"
What about the guy I just replied to in the European Mythic Legions group now?
Oh, the one that thinks you live in Inverness or somewhere now.
Yeah, he said, let us know where you're from, and I said, "Oh, I'm Irish. I live in Scotland." It autocorrected Luxembourg too, and I said, "Check out our podcast," and then some other guy was commenting, "Oh, we should start Scottish, little." And I just went. I didn't say anything. I just went in and edited my message, my original one, so they won't even notice, and they'll come back later and go, "Oh, I must have misread that." Or hopefully, no, they won't. They'll probably listen to this now. But 2 new listeners, that'd be good. Anyway, let's get on with it, because we have also to interview some fine folks, and we don't want this episode to take up too much time, and we don't want to cut in too much to their time, but we did want to have our say on this stuff. So Frankenstein's creature. So this was revealed a couple of weeks ago now by the time this goes out. We're kind of recording a week ahead now because we're doing the guests' interviews. So if we're talking about stuff as if it's now and you feel like it's a bit in the past, that's why. Frankenstein's creature, Rich, when you saw this first, you were not too excited, which I was extremely surprised by.
Yeah, you were flabbergasted, weren't you? But it just didn't do anything for me.
Wow. I was just thinking, wow, if I could design a figure for Rich, it would be like this gnarly, dude.
You think so? I think it was a flesh color as much as anything. Just
the yellow,
just completely put me off. Really put me off. But then, as we know, this is me, and then I obviously bought one later on in the evening because I came around to it nicely, and now I know exactly what I want to do with it, and I think it's great. But
but it's not staying as Frankenstein, or
it's not. No, I'm going to use it as one of the alternate heads without the hair, the one with the slightly open mouth, and I'm going to use it as like a big, Egyptian zombie sort of thing. Because I quite like the colouring for that sort of look to it, and that's going to be part of my Egyptian themed faction. And then I can use the table. I can use the table and bits and bobs for all sorts of other stuff then as well.
Well, I was extremely impressed, and then obviously when I saw the reviews and saw all the new parts, even more so. Mal, I think we've mentioned last week, also impressed.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I thought it looked fantastic when it was revealed. I'm another one of those people who's really happy that they went more the literary, and I think it was kind of expected realistically, but it's still good to see they went the literary route with the way he looks. And yeah, he's fantastic looking, and the accessories and all that. In the photos that Trevor took, in the review from Bill at Dorclair, just it's stacked, isn't it?
It really is. Yeah, Bill's review, if anyone hasn't listened to it, is brilliant, and that's what finally tipped me over the edge. Yeah, so well done, Bill.
So there you go, Jeremy. Sending the figure to Bill got you at least one sale, confirmed. I'm sure there was lots more, but confirmed. Yeah, look at those pictures that Trevor took.
And I sort of
Trevor's pictures are stunning.
Yeah, well, and I commented on our chat with Anthony, and it was the same with the Bastet and
Anubis.
I'm blank on the other character, Anubis. How can I forget that one? 2-pack. That now at this point we are getting play sets, aren't we? Really, with all the accessories. People have talked about wanting a fireplace for their legions. Well, this is the Frankenstein, the Gothic horror equivalent of that, isn't it? It's it's fantastic.
I mean, look at all that stuff there.
Yeah, it's amazing.
We're showing on screen the kind of photo that you see in their promo that shows everything you get with the figure, which is always my favorite photo of these new reveals, and it's incredible. And I like here that it's not just the accessories; you actually shows you the figure as well. So
yeah. No, it's a great setup. It's like I'm going to show mine with the scarred head with the slightly open mouth and naked apart from his nappy, and that's the look I'm going to go for. But then I think was it Jeremy that showed the long coat on a skeleton pirate? It's like brilliant. I can use the coat now.
Yes.
Somebody else, I think on the UK group, put the Hagnon head on a skeleton deluxe Legion builder, and the colours virtually match. It's like brilliant. I can do something with that now. So all these bits that you could do something with the figure, and then as Mal said, it's a play set, so you can just do all sorts of stuff with all the other things. It's brilliant.
Yeah, so you're going to be like this guy.
That basically, is the look I'm going for.
And the coat is incredible. I only got the one, but I got the all in. I was tempted to get more, but I realized I'm not going to have time to do anything with this coat before Legion's gone anyway. So I'm going to take a chance on maybe picking up a coat there, or in this pop and swap thing, or else if they have the figure, maybe buying one for the parts. But otherwise, I'll just leave it to chance. But very happy to get one. I mean, look at all those bits. Yeah. You can't use all the stuff with the figure, which is really amazing value.
Well, it's to the point I'm torn because, and I could, I suppose, with what I'm planning to do, I could actually display, because I've done what I normally do. I've got one to keep him minty fresh in box because the box is so good and I tend to throw them away. I want to get one, that, as I say, I keep sort of looking as it was when you picked it up. But then I got another one because I wanted to use the boots, the trousers, and the coat on a cosmic custom I've got planned. But that does mean I could actually display another one in the sort of way that Rich has talked about on the table, because I'm a bit torn, because I really, really like the look of him with the long dark hair, and and I want him displayed like that. But then seeing Trevor's photos and some people who've already got them showing their photos of him strapped onto the table, it just looks so cool, and would look so cool with all the other Figura Obscuras in the background.
Yeah.
So I can actually do that.
There's so many options. Yeah. Or you could just switch it up, every couple of weeks, switch it up. What absolutely fascinates me, and I don't need to know the answer, but like how they were able to put so much tooling into this. We might get the answer in the future, obviously, when they do some reuse with this stuff. But I mean, is it just at the stage now where they're able to do that much new tooling for a figure? Remember Eric, Krampus? It was a new head.
Yeah, well, Eric
and a collar piece
on the episode with Jeremy on last Wednesday. that one of the things he likes about the Figura Obscura is it gives him an opportunity to sculpt the new pieces and add to the parts library to be used elsewhere.
Gotcha.
So it sounds like he's possibly all in on sculpting new bits for this line. So yeah,
it's amazing. I mean, obviously where it works first, but I could see this coming into use, especially in Cosmic. But even in Mythic, if they go down, obviously you got Necronominus, the faction there, or Poxus, either would fit this type of character. And what we're hoping for is new factions as well. So, who knows?
Lizards.
What do we think, Rich?
Lizards!
I was trying to relate it back to this figure in particular, as to where this might fit into a new type of faction. But okay, we're just effing lizards again.
We can have zombie lizards. That's fine.
I was going to say
stitch together creature lizards. It's fine with me. While we've been talking, and John, you mentioned the second one, and I've suddenly realised, oh damn it, I need another one now too, because I've got some parts that would go really well to make a different figure if I can get the paint, someone to paint match it correctly for me. There's I think there's a Prop Masters set. And the head and the torso, and that would go absolutely perfectly with this. So god damn it.
Well, we are recording on the night just behind the curtain. That it has gone live again. Yes. You want to pick up another one?
No, I think I'll do a John and try and get it at the con.
Resist.
Yeah.
If I'm going to have to pay someone to paint a head and a torso and that sort of stuff, I'd rather not spend $30 on shipping.
Yeah. It makes it ship yourself to there instead.
I mean, don't get me wrong. By the time we speak next, tomorrow I'll probably go, I just ordered another one. What the hell?
FOMO will have gotten the better.
It stayed too long on the site. I'm at the stage with Legion's Con now where I'm priming stuff in white because that's probably quicker, even though I don't like often priming in white unless there's a specific reason, because it's hard sometimes then with the shadows and with the kind of but it also makes it easier for certain types of paint jobs. So I just primed a bunch of stuff in white today just to shortcut a little bit, or hopefully shortcut. Right, so that was kind of what I was expecting to talk about on this little chat before our guests this week. But then we got dropped something else this week, which was a complete shock to me. It just popped up there in the middle of the week. Stavros the Unwavering, which is a Big Bad Toy Store exclusive 25th anniversary celebration. So Big Bad have their 25th anniversary this year, as well as the Four Horsemen. So Big Bad are doing a bunch of stuff for their 25th anniversary. They have, I think, 25 exclusives. They're announcing one kind of a day through October, end of September through October. And this one was from the Horsemen, the first one they revealed. And it comes not from the Mythic or Cosmic line, but it's a bit like the Demistros figure, its own kind of special thing, one-off, but using the parts library. And what this is an Arakagor build, basically, with really awesome soft goods and a black paint job with red armor. So, pretty cool figure this. What do you think, Mal?
Yeah, I think this is an exceptional figure. It's definitely my favourite of all the Dragon Kin style figures. I'm including the Kragnar and Scourge in that, because I'm referring to that sort of, scaly build and scaly. I love the black, and then black and red are my two favourite sort of combination of colours. That's how they are for a lot of people, but I think he looks incredible.
$80 from Big Bad, so that's the way to get him. You can put him into the pile of loot there. So if you're collecting other stuff, like Monster Force Wave 2 is looking like it's going to drop around the same time as this guy. So I'm looking at it. Maybe
this guy coming out in 2027.
A little drive-by on Monster Force there now, Rich. It's just, I know it's just because you really want them badly.
Basically, yes, I desperately want them. God damn it.
What's your opinion of this figure, Rich?
Yeah, sorry guys, I was slightly distracted then. I was on Store Horseman seeing how much it would cost me to get a Frankenstein and a couple of other things.
You have time after this podcast, you know.
It didn't take that long, did it?
No, I've got a
This is
memory
what
like
it's
a
like,
sieve.
folks. You know?
It's just like, if I don't think about it now, it's not going to happen. I love this guy. I think he's awesome. Initially, I was thinking like, the robe's a bit bright to go with him, but actually, I think that'll make him stand out even more. And Jeremy's sigil, or whatever you want to call the design on it, is really cool as well. So,
Yes.
I love this guy. I've already pre-ordered him, so I'm looking forward to getting hold of him.
Yeah, I have pre-ordered him as well.
And he can be more of a bad
Gmail.
guy, can't he? Without doing the whole black is bad thing, but it's like a dark, brooding sort of dragon. I really like that.
I mean, red and black is a classic combo. Everyone loves it, and I don't think I've ever heard anyone moan about red and black in the community. You got two on the way, Mal, yeah?
Yeah. I had to order a second one. Again, keep it minty in box. Go with the warrior beast and the cos and the con exclusives. Put in that display. I think so. I had to do that. And I usually display my so I've got sort of the quadrants and the Furious
Demistros.
4 and Demistros and what's the other one?
Skullman.
Exclusive. Skullman. I've got them all displayed together because they're not really mythic and not, I mean, I know Furious 4 are meant to be, but
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Yeah, you
sort
can,
of are.
you can separate them, yeah.
Yeah.
The Furious 4 aren't mythics. They're just douchebags, let's be honest.
Richard Jones's opinion does not stand for the entirety of the podcast. It's his own
I'm just laying it on
his own time and money.
I'm just laying it on the wife.
won't
My
be
wife's
allowed.
gonna kill me, boys. Now let's bring it.
Like they listen to this.
Yeah. They won't let
Someone's
us
going to have to
into
tell
the,
them about this particular time.
Somebody will,
Or else prove
Probably
it to me.
Anthony.
And Pete definitely doesn't listen. Travis might listen if he's bored in his cop car. And I don't know, Steve. I don't think so. Right. The thing I like about when they do these type of repaint figures is if they give us something that's very hard for us to recreate, whether we're customizers or whatever. And this is why I think this is so cool with the soft goods, because that's not something that's going to be easy to come by either from. I mean, you could, maybe someone like C. Jessam could do something like that, would be very expensive, or somebody else, but it's not something that I'm going to be able to recreate. Whereas I could probably repaint an Arachicor black, be pain, time consuming, but I could do it. And a lot of people in the community could do it. So this is sweet when we get something like that. The other thing I like with this type of figure, if it didn't have something special like the soft goods, would be like a new head or something, So one of those two things I think is really cool. Makes it kind of really extra special and really worth getting. On top of the fact that it's a cool figure, But someone that's deep in Legions and Cosmic, do you really need this? No, if it doesn't have the soft goods, I think,
The one thing that I can't get past with this figure is the name. Like, to an American, Stavros might be a cool name. To me, it's just two half-naked Cypriots dancing on stage in Britain's Got Talent. It's just like, no.
Yeah, but that's just a cultural reference,
Yeah.
That's how can they can't even know that. Anyone
No, I know
involved with
that.
this figure
I
can't
know. But
that.
it's still, I'll get past it, but it's still playing in my head.
Again, Jeremy addressed this on his show. Apparently the guys at Big Bad were just calling it Steve the Unwavering, and if I remember rightly, is Steve the guy who runs big, the big boss man at Big Bad was called Steve, was he? I think
right.
So they kept calling this Steve the Dragon, and so the Horseman decided to find a name that meant
close
Steve.
to that.
Yeah, well, Stavros is apparently Greek for Steve. So,
yeah, there's two. I think Stephanos and Stavros. I looked it up. They can both be
Right.
Steve. So,
right,
so
yeah.
there you go.
So,
Did a little bit of research.
It's done with tongue in cheek. It is meant to be a bit daft. So yeah,
Yeah,
Which,
I'm not too bothered
Well, in
by
that case,
whether
it ties in with two half-naked Cypriot men Irish dancing. If it's meant to be a bit.
yeah.
And the logo on the soft goods, it does spell BBTS in a very subtle kind of way. So I really like that. That's very nicely logo designed, and I think Jeremy used his previous jobs experience in doing that. So why not use all your skill sets? And there's a little back view of, you see the soft goods, really nice there, really, really good.
Yeah,
Very good.
Yeah, go on the Horseman pages. They show you the CGSM does a behind the scenes of the soft goods as well on one of their posts. Pretty cool to see. So here's the dragon without soft goods. So looks cool as well, if that's the look you want to go for. I'm glad he has the sword, the ogre sword, because I'm not a big fan of that axe.
I'm not normally, but I think with the red in the middle, it actually looks really good.
Yeah. But yeah, nice. And those nice pauldrons that came with the Rakagore as well. Those painted in that red. And is that similar to the red we're getting with those knights in the armory?
I was trying to work it out. I think it's a bit more stained. So
It might be a bit more, yeah.
Yeah, I
Might
think
be
so.
a bit more of that kind of paint rather than pure smooth metallic.
Yeah.
So, and a beautiful glamour shot there. I don't know if Big Bad was doing these shots or if it was Trevor. So I'm not going to give anyone a mention, but they're awesome. So, one last thing wanted to bring up here, Rich, was this custom that you were sending to us today, which is one from a new faction that you're posting in the next while.
Yeah, so this is my sort of little rundown on the full custom figures I bought last year. I just wanted to show them off and not in a posing way, but just show what I bought and write the bios, which I love doing. And also, hopefully, it'll take me 2.5 weeks to do this, will remind me not to buy as many this year. Is the subtle hint with that. But this guy's awesome. It's from Borderland Hoard, who we're going to be interviewing at the weekend. Ben McCall did this one.
Yeah, later in this episode.
Oh, yes, as it were. Jesus. I really love it. The green armor color just screams like Nurgle sort of thing to me.
Yeah.
And then you've got this, like the bare torso with the bones coming out. I think it's a Mike Custom torso. With like purple sort of rot almost again coming through on that. And then just a really cool action figure fusion helmet where there's just the eyes on display and the big sort of chaos horns coming up and that sort of thing. So it's just that the colours like screamed to me.
Yeah.
And then
it's really good paint job as well. I mean,
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. It's brilliant. And then it comes with the giant bell weapon. And it's actually a real bell, so it chimes.
Wow.
So
That's cool.
So I'm going to be posting up this onto the Cabal this evening. So a few days ago, by the time you're listening to this. But I did find myself talking about how he was ringing his big demon bell, and I suddenly thought, I'm going to write porno here on the bio. So I had to reel that back a little bit and just soften what he's doing with it. But it's such a cool weapon.
Yeah, it is.
Rich and his demon dongs.
Demon dongs, demon wang, whatever you want. Yeah, basically.
Demon dong. Yeah, so we'll be obviously talking to the guys about what they're bringing to Legion's Con, but we'll also mention that Rich is willing to further enhance his collection with some more of their wares.
Yes, there's in my little screenshot little folder on my phone, there's quite a few of their pieces, it has to be said.
And so all the figures you're posting now, are they ones that you got at this last year's Legion's Con, or
Yes,
are they all linked
yeah.
together in one faction? Like
No, it's all
Hellions?
it's all just figures from last year's Legion's Con. I think it's like 16, I think, in total.
Okay.
And then
so
there's lots of different factions and that sort of thing.
And that might be, but you're writing bios for them all, so that might be cool
yeah.
in the future to go through those as well.
Like this guy's in
the Red Hellions.
Yeah, this guy's in a faction I call the Putrid Mass. so that's dropping hints about them. I've got another one that ties into another faction I do, and I'm sure people won't pay enough attention to this, but there's little spoilers about what's coming up in future faction releases and that sort of stuff. So
yeah, awesome. Okay, well, should we get over to our interviews then, and let the people hear the actual good content?
Hear the good content, and we'll get rid of Mal. Hey!
Yeah. Bye, Mal. Enjoy your weekend on the beer.
Have fun.
So we have Tristan and Carlo from Immortal Collections, our first guests for this week. How are you guys doing?
Doing great. Doing good. Thanks for having us back on.
No problem. Yeah, it was episode 38. I looked it up last year, and this is going to be episode 86. So
yeah,
nice. It's only been a year. It was end of October, so you were one of the last ones before Legion's Con last year.
Yeah.
And this year a little bit more lead time into it. So how have you guys been using the time? Is it starting to crank up now? It'll be 5 weeks when this episode goes out. It's kind of almost 6 weeks when we're recording, so that's not much time.
Yeah, 6 weeks sounds better. I was thinking it was more like 4. You know.
I mean,
I think we always like mentally give ourselves less time than we actually have. Like,
yeah, I think that's
at
a good plan.
At a certain point, you're just like, all right, I need to get all this stuff done, and I have no time to do it.
Yeah. I'm one of those that works better with a real close deadline. You know, even when I'm sometimes prepping for the show, I'll do like all the prep in like 30 minutes when I just know that's the only time I have. Whereas if I had like 8 hours to do it, I'd stretch it out over the 8 hours and misuse the time and not do it very well. So yeah, sometimes it's good to just have a little bit of a squeeze on, you know. But
as far as this year goes, we're kind of stressed and we're kind of not stressed because we did IshCon a few months back, and we had a big push for that. So we have a lot of things printed up that we have left over. We have some painted things we have left over. So kind of like a lot of the other guys do, you know, when they do multiple conventions, they have some stuff right over. So as far as customs go, I have a few customs we had at IshCon. You might have one picture of that later, but we have some stock from IshCon, and then we have a couple new pieces that I'm going to try to knock out here in the next couple weeks. You know, the pictures we sent you, we'll get into that later, I'm sure, but like those are kind of works in progress. I'll probably end up putting another 10 plus hours into each of those heads. So, you know, we'll see how many get done.
Yeah, and so how much work did you do in coming up to IshCon? I mean, I guess you didn't probably have 6 weeks before that, so you probably had less time, or how did it work?
I mean, so like earlier in the year, we started doing live sculpting streams on Saturday, and that was when my job switches every 6 months. I switch, routes and times. So we were doing it Saturday mornings, right about this time, and then we got probably like 6 or 7 different streams in. So we got about 12 heads that we started.
Yeah, we got a few good pieces started, and that was ultimately kind of what the goal of the streams were, to just kind of dedicate a day to just flexing creative muscles and
working together as well.
Yeah, working collaboratively and just coming up with new designs. You know,
kind of like trying to stretch ourselves to places where like it's not the normal thing, you know, that we would do. And then also bouncing things off each other. A lot of time we work solo. So like Tristan's down doing his thing and I'm off doing mine.
But so the nice thing is it's left us with somewhat of a back catalog of things that, like, if we don't know what to do, if you're out of ideas or just kind of mentally exhausted, you can just go back to one of those.
Gotcha. And remind me, you both do sculpting? You both do a bit of everything, or is there a real kind of...
Yeah, now we're actually both doing a bit of everything. I kind of let Tristan sculpt because again, I'm always at work and the computers are here. So on my days off, I would come back and I would paint what he sculpted or what he got printed up. Now Tristan's decided that he wants to start painting as well. I think over the last 3 years, he was like watching my paint work and like, yeah, I could do that, you know?
Yeah, well, you know, the paint jobs, I did a couple for IshCon. I did like 2, right? I spent like a considerable amount of time on them. I didn't really go through like the batch paint method of like, you know, just painting up a bunch.
And that's what I usually do.
That's what he usually does.
5 or 10 of the same head, which I don't really like doing, but I felt like I should because of, you know, how I started with Legion's shop.
But what I wanted to sort of do differently was add some more like specialty paints, like or paint jobs to a couple of the heads. Not nearly as much as, you know, what he would do, but just like, you know, this is a special edition head that, you know, we dedicated a lot more time to, you know, went through the process of shading, you know, applying different paint effects and whatnot, like really going through the treatment with it.
So, Rich, you're really in trouble now if both of them are painting and both of them are sculpting, and they're beside us as well at Legion's Con.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm in trouble. I gotta get your leprechaun head.
Oh yeah, no problem. You have front row seat there. You can definitely get one.
And Mal's, I'm itching to paint Mal's croc parademon head. Cosmic head looks great.
Yeah, cosmic alien kind of croc dude. Yeah, he's it's an awesome sculpt actually.
Yeah. I thought I'd missed you boys' table last year and then got there just before the end on Sunday, and I think it was your wife was there, Carlo, and before I knew it, I was coming away with the soft goods and 3 painted heads. It's like, wow, I was only here for like 2 minutes. That's good sales.
There you go. Yeah, we were off. I felt like last year we were off on the side. And just by watching the traffic at the con, it seemed like everybody was off in the middle. And, you know, the year before that we were right next to the horseman table and everybody was bumping our stuff. And I got to like stand on the corner and block everything. And then last year it was like, oh, we're not getting a lot of people walking down this way. But then at the same time, it's like, well, at least I don't have everything falling.
Yeah.
So hopefully this year will be a balance between the two things.
I just looked because I knew where we were at next to you, but I didn't know exactly where we were at on the floor, and it looks like we're right by the door. Now,
yeah, but I think the way Anthony is going to do the tables that
inside.
I think.
And hopefully, either way, it should be like at least like healthy traffic flow. You know, as opposed to being like by the Legion's table where there's, you know, a huge line going out the door and like people are kind of trying to break through that to kind of get past. And I think that was where we were having the most trouble is like everybody was in line. People were still trying to walk by in the middle of that. And our table just happened to be in the middle of that.
True, but and they're putting their piles of figures. Can I just put them there for a second? You're like, no, that's like a custom figure I worked 2 months on. No, you can't.
Right.
But that's going to be cool, Rich, to hang out with these boys because that's what we missed a bit last year. In that, like we had lots of cool people around us, but they were like, you know, there was the guys doing the dios, there was Ange and Dusty across, there was Paul's Customs with his family. But we don't really know them that well, or I mean, Dusty and Ange we got to know quite well, but all the people this year now we've kind of, you know quite well. We've had them on the show. We know we have good time with them, so it could be even more crazy this year.
It's going to be great. Loads of chatting.
I expect it to.
Yeah, and it will be interesting to see how it goes with the horsemen in the other room, because then there will be less kind of that distraction in the big room, and we'll still be in the big room. And I think a lot of people are there for the custom stuff. So, you know, hopefully that will kind of work out well for the way it is. And you won't have kind of just people blocking up the way because they're queuing for the horsemen, as you said.
I'm curious to see how the table is going to go, how the traffic goes through the middle and all that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we'll have any chairs. I think everybody's going to be standing for them.
Yeah. We had Anthony on last week, and he said you got to work on your squats and your hamstrings and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
I mean, Tristan, you're young, you're fine, but us old boys.
Yeah.
You know,
I also do a lot of sitting.
Yeah.
A lot of sitting.
Well, the other thing,
Carla, you sit in a truck a lot, so.
Well, no. So like I am a truck driver, but I'm a manual labor.
Okay, so you're
attached to a truck. So like
gotcha.
I drive 15 minutes and then I work. So
okay,
I pretty much move constantly. So
they're going to put us to shame here, Rich.
Well, to be honest, I mean, I don't think it's a coincidence that I was getting a massage this morning. I think as soon as I heard Anthony say that, I was like, oh hell.
Got to loosen this lower back out.
Core strengthening, got to loosen the back. Yeah, got to get myself sorted.
I'm gonna pull a chair in from like the lobby or something.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will be a see how it goes thing. I think like last year we had chairs, but I found actually just standing behind the desk, with the flow of people, especially when it was busy, was just easier to stand up. And
I usually stand.
I think it's just when I see someone sitting, I mean, it's fine if you have to sit, but it's harder to chat to them because they're down there and you're up here as the customer.
Honestly, at the points when I'm sitting down, it's like I'm kind of on somewhat of a break mode.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's your break. Yeah.
Yeah, you're on like a 10-minute break, and then you get back up. And you start talking.
We have the benefit. You guys have 3 at your table, so you guys can tag off, and have one representative there. We did the same last year because my wife was there, like you said, Rich. Like you got it off of her. Like I think Sunday, I spent most Sunday babysitting the kids last year.
Oh, did you?
Out in the hallway. Yeah. So I still got to chat with everybody when they were coming in and out. But I was like at the table. I'm like, did we sell anything today? I don't think I was even there for most of it.
And are they coming this year?
Oh yeah, they have 2 little friends. They're buddies with Eric Miller's kids.
So cool.
I guess we're I don't want to say stuck going to Legion's Con, but like that's they're not going to let me ever miss Legion's Con.
Oh, that's cool. And Eric is just across from us, so that'll be a bit easier for you.
I've got an important question now, Carlo. How old are your children, and do they like chocolate?
Yeah, they like chocolate, and they are 12 and 9.
My daughter, yes,
actually,
perfect,
my daughter's birthday is always the weekend of Legion's Con. So
really?
It's 22. She spent her birthday behind the table, and then 23. It's the 5th. Her birthday was the 5th. So
gotcha.
She got to spend it in New York though, so
that's pretty cool, isn't it? That's pretty cool.
She got to go to Times Square for her birthday that year. So
took her to the Disney store.
Oh, amazing. I mean, I can't live up to those heights, but I will have Kinder eggs with me. And like the ones that they don't sell in America. So these actual toys in the middle.
Okay, there you go.
Let them know they're both getting one. There we go.
Well, before we get into the stuff, I mean, Carlo, you're a bit of a connoisseur on Facebook, and I don't know if you do Instagram as well. I've seen some of your videos where you taste tasty treats from around the place.
I didn't know if it made it all the way to Europe.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen those.
We're friends on Facebook. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I'm always fascinated by what it is because I don't know what it is. I mean, I know it's some sort of a confectionery or maybe something from a fast food restaurant or something.
Everybody's telling me I should do more of that than sculpting videos. I get more likes off of my eating. But
one like for your custom stuff is worth more than 100 likes for stuffing your face with a sweet.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, well, I also put on 20 pounds, so I kind of cut that out for a little
bit. Do the more limited edition ones, maybe when you find something new rather than just.
Hey, I told him if that was the route he took, like there are some guys out there that like they go to some pretty interesting lengths for internet clicks.
Yeah.
Well, didn't Mr. Beast start by just counting to like an insane number? So it's like another sort of a video like that. And there's guys that, have, I don't know, whatever, 10 dozen eggs and see how fast they can eat them in an hour or something. Yeah.
Watched that video guy eating candy, or it kind of made me think of it when you mentioned the chocolate, but he ate a bunch of candy from like 1990, from like the 1990s, Like
Wow.
it was like candy that had been saved or preserved.
Oh,
Actually, I think he went even farther than that. I think some of the candy might have been from the 1950s.
oh my
He
God.
just shoved it right in there.
I just like to try the new things, you know.
Yeah, I think
If you
that's
guys want to
safer.
bring,
Yeah.
if you guys want to bring any candy, I will definitely eat some at Legion's Con. We'll make a
Sounds
little
good.
video.
Sounds good. Because what we're
Oh, we can do that.
what we're going to do actually is, if we get to, I'm sure we will get to the Walmart, is to pick up like, say, 10 different things that we don't know from our side of the world.
Yeah,
And then,
like flaming hot Cheetos.
Stuff like that. But
Yeah.
stuff that's easy to transport, because we want to do is we're going to bring it all back, and then we're going to do like an episode where we just taste the snacks live.
There you go.
And give our opinion.
Nice.
And offend everybody, and it'll probably be more popular than our regular episodes.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'd like to apologize in advance to all our American listeners about my reaction to food.
Right, let's get into some of your stuff for Legion's Con, what we're here for. So this little sculpt here, so you sent me over some pictures, so I just put them into this. So this guy is kind of like a samurai type Oni.
Yeah, it's an Oni mask. We've had that for a few years.
That's right. I got one from you last year. I got a couple from you last year, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems to be pretty popular. I threw that one in because I've worked on this new render, that black and white one.
Yeah.
We're gonna probably bring a couple prints, and we have these new renders on. Well, I don't know how new they are, but I just stumbled across them. But it'll take your model and it'll make it flat. So you'll see a couple of these pictures where like almost like a coloring book. So like, you know, we might have a couple sheets of coloring prints. Like, I'm not going to make a book or anything, but just a couple of things for the kids to pick up a coloring.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, that's the Oni head. It's one of my favorite. I think a lot of people like it. So.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to paint. You can do so many different paint jobs with it.
I think that's one of like the key draws to this for me is like, and you know, honestly, now that I'm looking at it, I think I want to paint one of those myself. Actually,
yeah.
I think
while I'm thinking about things to do.
I think I've done two, and both Cosmic. Painted them kind of in bright colors. They just said Cosmic to me, but there's no reason why they couldn't be in Mythic as well. You know,
yeah, after I start the sculpt, I always look back on like other artist renditions of it, just to make sure there's not too dissimilar or too similar, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I had a nice balance with that one. That was like, I get one or two sculpts in a year, and that was one from like 2 years ago, but, you know, we're just bringing it back. We don't sell too much outside of the conventions anymore. So we kind of closed our website down. So we're just, you know, if you guys want something from us, pretty much it's going to be cons,
like or direct messages.
Yeah, we do a couple of people like that.
The thing is like we kind of both reached a point where we've become too busy in you know, one way or another. Like he's either on the truck, you know, or you know, something else goes on, or he's working on a project, you know, but he only has a day to do it. And I've been doing a lot of commission and freelance work over the past 2 years, and it really ramped up this last year.
Well, that's good to hear, though.
Yeah, it's a good problem to have, but
yeah. No, but I mean, you have to choose your battles. You know, you can't fight on all fronts in terms of this. So maybe it's cool to still get your stuff out there at Legion's Con, but not kind of try and break your heart doing a website where maybe sometimes it's not that busy and then you're working for nothing, you know?
And to be honest, I think with competing with a lot of the other, you know, custom parts companies that have popped up over the years, we kind of felt like we couldn't, for one reason or another, produce to the same quantity.
Yeah.
Or
we just do smaller runs, you know. Leave it at the cons.
Yeah.
let everybody that does it, because secret is we print because we have to. We don't really like the printing process of it. We like having them afterwards, but the whole process, the frustrations with the printer,
messy.
we like to keep it on a smaller scale. But that head, I sent you that picture because we have a lot of those left over from Legions or
Awesome.
IshCon, so we'll be bringing that. So we're just kind of, I sent you the stuff we're gonna have.
Well, look out for that one. Do you have this one, Rich, or?
I don't actually. I've got quite a few Immortal Collections pieces, but not this one.
There you go.
So my wallet's like trembling now, going, "Oh, great! Okay, they're going to have that." There
so we have two ladies here, and one of them I know looks like your wife. So
yes,
that's the second one. This one,
yeah. So with those, I started a female head, and then I kind of went overboard because we were going to do a bunch of female heads, and ended up starting like 4 or 5 of them, and then one sort of looked like my wife, and I'm like, you know what? Let's just turn that one into you. So that was another project. I could have scanned her face and just had a head. Both of us have scanned our faces. I don't sell my face or his face, but I had to do a little something special for my good lady wife over here. So.
Right. So have you done her version of it, or is it just still in sculpt form?
It is not printed yet. That's pretty much there. She wants a little different hair. I don't like the longer, like her hair's long. It would not articulate well. So I think we're going to do some type of braided. She wants me to give her a fun, Viking hair style or something like that. So
why
that
not?
hair won't be there.
She doesn't have to pay an expensive hairdresser for it. So, you can do it on the iPad.
So I made a female face creator. So that other head was one of the sliders. So basically I did like 4 or 5 pretty faces. And so I have these sliders that I can move through. And the funny thing about these heads is I come up with like 10 to 100 really quickly.
You can come up with them like on the fly.
But then then they start looking like different celebrities, which is funny. I'm like, oh, this one looks like Scarlett Johansson. That looks like Kim Kardashian and all these different people. And then once I get it to about this point, then I'll go in and detail it out, put the lip textures and things in it like that.
Right.
So I didn't want to go overboard because, I have a whole bunch. I've done the same thing in the past with goblins and with ogres and trolls. But again, it's like I have more than I can finish. So these are just kind of the ones that I think look the best of all the ones. So.
I will also say they're fun to paint.
Yeah. Definitely.
It was really, really fun painting the sets. Like just the female heads.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people don't customize the female heads, but that's the good thing about being I guess niche, just do what you want to do. And if somebody gets them, then that's good,
Yeah. I was going to say that's great that you're putting these into the market because there aren't that many female 3D heads sort of thing. It's just not a common thing. So it's great that you're putting it out there for people that want that.
Yeah.
Especially
the Legion's ladies will be flocking to your table.
Yeah. And especially as you're not in it for high volume, as you said. So you're not worried about it selling loads. You're just worried about it selling some. So it should definitely do that. Right, we have some aliens here in different paint colors.
So
I don't even think I've seen these.
Well, so this was started before Cosmic came out, and I knew it was coming.
Oh, maybe I have seen
And
these.
what happened was this is not as far along as it used to be. So I had it at this point. I ported it over to a different computer because I tried to put that head on a video game model because we do video game stuff as well. And then my other computer crashed and I lost like all my work. The hard drive corrupted. So like that head was fully detailed out. I probably spent 20 plus hours on it. Then the thing crashed and then the thing pretty much died on me. And so like I didn't pick that head up for another year plus because I just couldn't bring myself to resculpt it because it was like I lost the thing, So that's just been sitting idle for quite a while. So it's probably, I'd say 50% of the way there right now. I like to go in and really, bump up the detail and like the different things. I put 4 eyes on him because I thought he was looking like Greedo from Star Wars. So I put the extra stuff on. I'm like, well, maybe I give him 4 eyes, and he won't look so much like him.
Give him 5 years.
So yeah, well, those kind of look like Snork, like the Snork cartoon.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
I love this guy though. It's such a cool sculpt, and I love the 4 eyes. Yeah. So I'll definitely be getting one of these.
That's definitely like a unique silhouette too. Like if you just look at like the shape of it, it's
I think that's. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, Carlo, I think that's quite important too. That it's as no matter how good a sculpt is, if it's the silhouette makes a big difference with that as well, sort of thing. To see, there's a different head shape or whatever on my shelves. That's good. So I like this.
Cool. We got this awesome one, which I also got from you last year at Legion's Con.
Yes, I got painted one of these last year from you.
What's this called?
Great head.
Yeah, so that was a Cyber-Oni project that I started. A lot of the times I start projects and then I have intentions of building a whole body out for it, and then arms and legs and all that. And we just got that far with it. So like I enjoyed that sculpt. I had an idea. Like every time we do something, whether it's an Oni or like a wolf or anything, a goblin, I always want to do like 5 different variations of it. And that was variation 1. We never got too much further with that one, but I enjoyed doing it,
Yeah, there's still time. It's really nice. It's also a fun one to paint. Lots of those kind of sweeping back, almost like hair, but not really hair. Because it's cyber. Really fun paint. This is a custom here on.
This dude is so good.
That's is it a Rakagor or is it a Tiger? It's a Tiger, is it?
No, that one is a Rakagor.
It's a Rakagor.
So those heads are only ogre scale right now.
Gotcha.
I've painted like 3 of them. I did one for Ish, and then I have an orange version of that. Those are some of the 2 customs I'm going to actually bring this year. Like it's always hard where we're like trying to split ourselves between what are we and what kind of display do we want? Do we just sell the 3D heads? Do we sell painted 3D heads? Do I make customs? I usually don't end up selling any of the customs. Maybe 1 or 2 here or there if somebody really wants it. So like I think I'm going to, with my time restrictions this year, limit the custom figures as much as just kind of getting these sculpts finished up and having actual parts.
Yeah, there's plenty of
might
customizers.
Might also think about like rethinking like our price scaling a little bit, just because like we always go to these cons and we get these customs, and people are like, "How much is it?" And be like 200 or if it's a lot of work, like 400, 500. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I don't really. Again, a lot of people say they don't like to sell their customs. Like I like it. I don't really need to sell them. You know what I mean? I just like making them. So
yeah.
I remember last year you had some really cool customs on your table. I remember looking at them. I remember your wife saying, "Oh yeah, they're not for sale," and I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, because a lot of times I make the customs out of my figures, and then I want to put them back to the actual.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah.
So there's that aspect of it as well.
That's true, but it's good to show people what can be done with the stuff. You got some wolves here.
Yeah, I'll probably pick 1 or 2 of those. I don't know which one I like the best so far. I think I'm leaning towards the dark brown one or the one that's actually on the body. Tristan modified one of those. I think one of your pictures that we'll get to later, he did with a wolf skull in there as well. So there might be a few of those. I definitely want to do one of them at least.
So, which one is your favorite there, Rich?
I think it's the second from the left, the one next to the one that's on the body.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm leaning to as well.
It's just got such a brutal sort of gape and the long.
I really like the one with the beard.
Yeah, the beard one was kind of funny.
That's my second favorite. That's an awesome one. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I do I don't really concept on paper. So those all started with one head, and then I just pulled some vertices and things like that and just reshaped them. And it's like that way, I get basically an array of things to choose from. So
yeah. Right, it's got to be a dwarf, no?
Yeah, probably. I haven't got too far with him. That's definitely one I want to finish because you'll see a minecart later on down the list. But I wanted to do a dwarf theme this year, and with things getting away from us, it never really happened. But I got this guy knocked out, and the main thing I'm going to focus on from here to Legion's Con, other than finishing these sculpts, is the next thing that's going to come up here in a little bit. So,
gotcha. We got a fish guy.
Oh. Yeah,
this is rich straight away.
You're gonna see a lot more of those.
Yeah,
promise.
Yeah, it's like I already had a few fish people type things from a few different people, and I saw these. It's like, well, that's more to add to the list. Then I'm going to need an entire shelf for fish people because this is a fabulous sculpt.
You better grab your scuba gear.
Yeah, Tristan's a very big Lovecraft fan, enthusiast.
Okay. Yeah.
Fish person aficionado.
Yeah, so.
Oh,
if
superb.
you guys remember, he did that cat kraken head.
Of course, was it a Katamari or wherever it was?
Yeah.
I've got one of those painted up. Yeah, I love that sculpt.
Yeah.
It's still one of my favorite pieces that I've done.
So is this another guy?
Yeah, I don't know what he is. He started out as a vampire, then he started looking like.
You could turn that into Hordak.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Then he kind of looked like Hordak, and then I'm like, it looked too much like Hordak, and we're not supposed to do other characters. So then I'm like, well, maybe I'll try to make it look fishy, So.
I was going to say, in my head, it was straight away, that's a fish. That's a fish guy. That's another one I can add to the fish guy.
I think in the context of the previous one, it just, you kind of stay in the same realm. Maybe if
but it definitely could be repainted as Hordak. That's for sure.
That one can go a few different ways.
Are you going to be bringing painted versions of these as well?
Well, we'll see what Tristan can come up with. Yeah, we're going to try to bring. We're going to try to bring some painted. I took the week off before Legion's Con. I always do. So we'll see at the end there what I have time to get painted. Before IshCon, it was like a month for sculpting, and then it was a month for painting. So depending on which projects are seeming like they're going to get done, there could be a handful. There could be more than a handful painted. So
okay.
See what we come up with.
I will make sure I speak to you straight away when we're setting up then. It's like, how many of those have you got? Do I need to grab it now?
Right.
So this guy's rather cute.
Yeah, this is a fun head. We did this with Perry Morrell, and he came over to the house. He lives down the road from us. There's like a whole bunch of us right in this little area.
It's amazing.
This little pocket of Ohio.
Yeah.
I'm very jealous of that.
He came over and he sat in with us on the stream and basically told me what he wanted. And I, sculpted him. Like, you like the nose bigger, smaller, bigger teeth, smaller teeth. He wanted those horns. He's going to put that on a Malifar body. It also works for Plunderlings. So I'm going to scale the head to fit a Plunderling body because that's another thing he asked me to do.
Yes, style-wise, that'd work, definitely.
Because they had that fawn version of the Plunderling with the hooves.
Yeah.
So, he wants to do that for that. He's going to have some of those at his table. I don't know necessarily if we're going to have a whole bunch at our table or not, but they'll be there in some.
They'll be there, yeah. Look out for them. See if you want to. It's a kind of a cute-ish kind of goat type.
Yeah, well, I kind of call it a fawn goblin. That's kind of.
Okay.
I kind of like that.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. So you got your fuzz monks, and those are more the renders of the different. Those are more. Yeah, those are the more renders. Of these. Yeah, that I think I'm gonna do that one, that pink one in a print. It reminds me of
looks really cool. Yeah,
Ice Cream Man. I'm gonna have my wife. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I love these. Clown's mythos doesn't make any sense. However, as soon as I saw these, I was like, well, I want both of those. It's just like I'll find a way to make those work because those are incredible.
Right. So that's I guess I'll just let the cat out of the bag. My goal is I have a couple Red Death bodies, so I'm going to dry brush over those bodies to make it look like it's paint over black skin, basically, like a zombie clown. And I'm going to have my wife do some clown clothes for them. So. They will pretty much be a straight clown. Tristan, I'm trying to get him, if he's got a chance, to do some feet and some hands for them as well. But I can make short ones with the clown outfit for the dwarves, or the Frankenstein body that just came out. The creature. maybe we could have
you could do a really good clown custom with a Frankenstein body. Actually,
so.
You could with those long arms. That would just look super creepy, wouldn't it? To go with the heads. Absolutely.
So I
love these. They're brilliant.
I just had a kick. I was like laying in the truck. I'm like, why haven't we done clowns yet? You know, like all my best things are when I'm just laying there, just thinking like I can't do anything. So I'll just think about stuff. So yeah. So why haven't we done clowns? So the funny thing was with the clowns is like there's very noticeable Halloween clowns out there. There's it. You know, the creature. There's the killer clowns from outer space. So after I did these, I had to go back and make sure that I didn't again recreate any of those things over again, so people can't say, "Oh, you ripped that off," or "You ripped." Like a clown with some scary teeth is basically a goblin. Actually, I was looking at them like all I have to do is point the ears and make a hooked nose, and they're basically painting them green, and they'll be a goblin.
You could have an entire entire clan of goblins that just dressed like clowns.
Clown paint. Yeah, that could be it.
There you go, Rich.
That sounds both terrifying and fabulous. Those would be some fun bios to write, I tell you.
So we have this sculpt as well that's painted.
So this was one of the few paint jobs I did for IshCon.
Looks good.
So that's a little of what you might expect to see at Legion's Con. At least a couple. There's going to be a couple there.
So which character is this? Or
so that was another head that we sculpted together on stream. That was with my wife. She designed that one basically. So she told us what to do, and we just sculpted it live. Basically, like she was giving us the prompts if you were doing AI. You know, she's like, "Well, give it horns." So Tristan did the helmet part, and I just did the female face. And that was the one somebody told me at IshCon, like, "Oh, is that your wife?" And I said, "No, not really." She's like, "Well, it kind of looks like her." So I think that's probably the face I ended up turning in to Jenny.
Gotcha.
Later on,
but you know, this piece in particular was a really fun collaborative effort. Like for me, it was fun doing the headdress, but to be honest with you, I didn't even do the headdress on that head. I used, because we were doing it at the same time on stream, I had to use a stand-in head for it. And to be honest with you, like I didn't really like the way that it sat on her head when I was modeling it. But when I gave it to him and he put it on the head that he had made, I was like, I love that so much better than on the head that I had originally sculpted it on. Like he took it and he really like
you adjust the proportions and stuff.
You know,
just but you make it flow.
You didn't adjust the proportions like
too much
to where it was noticeable.
It's great that that's such a dark color scheme. It's just screams Blood Witch. It's awesome.
For IshCon, and we're gonna have. I think we have a bunch still. We have them in just about every ethnicity. We have it painted in red. We have it in purple and green. Like we have some crazy different versions of that head still. So we'll have a few of those left over.
This one then.
That was crazy. That was me just having some fun.
That was another collaboration. I think I sculpted 2 of those parts, and then Tristan put them together. And
the funny thing is on this piece, Carlo did most of the work for me. Actually, I took one of the werewolf heads that he had, that he was working on at the time. And he had made the wolf skull, I think, previously. And so I was like, all right, I'm just going to take both of those things, put them together, and turn it into a zombie. I think I had to sculpt the lower jaw from scratch. But almost everything else was Carlo's original design that I just worked off of.
Yeah. With this one, I told him, I said, it looks okay. I said, make his head look like it's been like burned off with acid or something, like somebody lit him on fire. And I don't know, did you originally have the eyeball idea, or we didn't want to go too gross with it, but
I mean, I did, but
yeah, he did.
And that's all sculpt there. That isn't like, you haven't used glue or anything for the.
Yeah, that's another thing. We use this other resin that's like flexible.
Right.
It's anti-impact, so it actually lends itself pretty well to those stringy bits. We're trying to always push it to see how far it'll go. So,
and surprisingly, you would be surprised, I think, at how like durable even the stringy bits are.
Yeah,
nice.
they're not rubber, but they're not hard resin. So
yeah, I mean, you don't
need to
want to
be
go crazy
in
with
fear
it.
of your life of touching it. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't want to go crazy with it, but like I think it could probably survive maybe a fall or two off the shelf.
That's great. I love what you did with the colours of this one too, because it's like, it's a zombie wolf. And then you look at the colours and you're like, and that's going to work perfectly in Cosmic.
Yeah, well,
I will now find some sort of race where that's how they normally look, or
yeah, well, that's what I meant by like I had some fun with it, like I was just really getting into painting, discovering some new techniques, like you learn how to paint, you watch videos, and like you see how they do the different techniques, but you don't always like get it immediately. Well, I mean, like this was me kind of getting it.
So we got some art here, guys.
Yeah, I don't know if we were on stream or fully recording yet when we mentioned this, but we just got a new iPad, like the new iPad Pro, and it's really changed up our workflow. Like the power of that thing is insane. Like we got it because the 3D software that we used just was ported to it, and we can sculpt pretty much anywhere we want now. Right, we'll probably be sculpting at Legion's Con.
There you go. So start charging for an hour demo.
Yeah, but funny enough, since we got the iPad, he's used ZBrush more than I have. I've been working on some personal projects that I would like to bring at Legion's Con. And this is kind of just a look and kind of a sneak peek at kind of what I'm coming up with. It's very early stages, and I can't really even talk too much about it. But it's just
it'll be a print.
It's somewhat of a passion project of mine that I'm working on, and I want to make prints out of some of the stuff that I've already created. Might be some other stuff that I'm thinking about getting together, but we'll just see how much we can get done.
Yeah, well, it's really cool. It's
we'll probably have that for a print. Guy. Yeah, another fish guy. We'll make a couple prints. He's
it's all of this is very Lovecraft focused.
Yeah,
I can say that. I want to focus heavily on things I like, which is horror and fish people.
Hi, Rich.
That's a great combination. I wholeheartedly endorse that.
Right. Well, and one of the key elements to that, and one thing that I really want to portray through this project is, you look at like the creature from the Black Lagoon, and that's it's a horror movie, right? And for his time, he's scary, but I really want to try and bring that idea to, I don't know, just kind of give my own take on it and see what I can come up with. See what I can come up with. Just
in your own style.
In my own style, and how I can push the boundaries of like what I think horror should look like in that sort of universe.
Yeah, well, I definitely think you definitely have a style, so that's already a good start.
And prints always go really well, I think, at the con too, from what I've seen.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely, yeah.
Funny enough, that particular fish head isn't even a part of it. That was just another fish head that was
one of the, so for that and you actually switch the teeth out. But the one fish head that I did, that was the same stream that we had that. I said, I got a challenge for you. I did a set of teeth, and I said, make a fish person off of these teeth, and then I made a fish person off the teeth. So the teeth were only going to be the same, the only connecting thing, and do whatever you want. Well, he ended up making this guy, and I ended up thinking it looked more dinosaur-like.
Right.
And then he made it more fish-like after the stream, and then he switched the teeth out anyway. So yeah, that's fine. It doesn't have to be what we originally think,
True. That's how you create, isn't it? It's
whatever makes a better sculpt.
It's a sum of a lot of different things.
As far as the teeth are concerned, like, yeah, I did switch them out, but like, just the more I kept working on it, the more like I just wanted to push that creep factor with it. And if you notice, and like you can scrub through a couple of the different pictures to get different views of them, you'll notice the bottom teeth are longer and more pointed up, while the top teeth are more curved, right? And while I was working on that, like I was kind of creeping myself out because I was kind of like thinking about it, like
if they were fingers, like they could
actually, like almost like it, like he uses his bottom teeth to like hook into you or something like that, and he just like uses his top teeth to just kind of like gobble you up,
Oh.
You all right there, Rich? I got to take it off the screen now. I mean,
I'm good. I want one, but I'm not sure I'll sleep well tonight now after that description.
Very good. Well, is there anything else you want to plug, boys, before we head off?
No, you didn't get to one picture. Our main focus.
Okay, that's what I had, so I must have missed one. Sorry.
Maybe I didn't send it over. We'll leave that for a surprise then.
Okay, sounds good.
I'm going to have. I'll just tell you. I'm working on a minecart for the dwarfs.
Awesome.
And I don't know if it's going to roll or not. I have it sculpted. The goal is to be able to play with it. We're going to see how far that goes. I have big aspirations for it, but not enough time. So we'll see how far we get with it.
High aspirations, low expectations.
Well, high expectations is probably not. So
might not
high expectations, but no time.
Before Legion's Con.
That's what I'm going to probably. If our table's going to be one major thing, it'll be the minecart.
Well, we're in quite a dwarfy area with all our neighbours on the row, so they'll be quite intrigued by your dwarf cart if you manage to pull it off. So
and the minecart sounds like the sort of thing that'll be a good size as well, because sometimes vehicles or mounts can be huge, whereas a minecart is far more reasonable, isn't it?
Single ride,
manageable in terms of it, in terms of a display and that sort of stuff. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Awesome,
excellent.
I'll post it on Instagram here in a few little bit. So
there you go. So we'll definitely share it on our page. So look out for that. Right, guys. Thanks very much for your time. That was
thanks for coming on board.
Yeah,
and can't wait to see you in just a little bit over a month's time. How about we put it like that?
Yeah.
Leave it a little bit more vague.
See you soon. See you soon. Right.
Cheers.
Cheers, guys.
So the big one, Rich, the big one for your wallet. It's Borderland Hoard.
I was going to say I can feel my wallet vibrating in my pocket, but that sounds really dodgy. So, but it is scared. It is terrified.
Rich, you're old. It's your phone. So we got Ben, we got Mark, and we got Ben. So there you go. So it's pretty easy. Just remember Ben and Mark. He's the other guy
with a C.
So how are you guys doing?
Good. We're doing good. As we said, we're
laughing and panicking.
Yeah, panicking. So we've been meeting like a couple times a week, just trying to get inventory printed and making sure that we're all set. So it's not a last minute like, hey, I forgot to do my homework on a Sunday night kind of feel.
It still will be, but at least if you're on it now, it'll be less like that, or you'll have more stuff. And what part of the States are you in?
So again, Borderland Hoard, where we got our name is, I'm right over the border in Rhode Island. So right in Westerly, Mark's right in Stony.
Gerard,
so that's where the name came from. We're like right across the border from each other.
Can I check? That's Rhode Island, Maine, yeah?
Well, yeah.
I was going to prove a joke. If you don't listen to them, that would mean nothing, but some of the listeners will get it.
Nobody listens to them anymore. Right, so that's where Jeremy Gerard is, isn't it? Rhode Island. He's in that. And that's Rhode Island's quite a small state in comparison to some of the other ones. But
very small, but we stole all of Connecticut's coastline, so they're mad about that.
Yeah, small but beautiful. And still a lot of people. How many people are in Rhode Island? Maybe 500,000?
I don't know, but they're all pretty much in Providence area. So it's a lot of people, but
maybe 20, 30, something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
So you guys will be driving down to New Jersey then. That's not too bad of a trip. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
About a 2-hour drive for us.
Yep.
Oh, man, can you imagine, Rich?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
It's more than that just to get myself to the airport to fly over.
Well, we like driving to the shows, and we weren't panicked enough for Legion's Con, so we decided to go to a show in end of October up in New Hampshire, which is another 2-hour drive. So
adding a little more.
All right, so you did a practice run.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. So see what people like of what we've been designing and printing up, and so no, we're definitely excited to do a little bit of a test run.
So tell us, kind of where did this come from? What was the kind of impetus to start this whole thing off? So you guys were.
So I blame this guy. Pretty much my toy collecting before I met him was non-existent. I had some stuff, and then the enabler over here got into him, and first 2017, I think you got into him.
Yep.
And then I held out, and he kept trying to give me one. Hey, check these out. I'm like, I don't need. I like having money. I don't want to get into it. And then one day he just decided to give me a Hellfire Goblin. And I got home and opened the Hellfire Goblin, and it's been downhill since then. Yeah. And thankfully, my wife is his sister.
Yeah.
So luckily, my financial difficulties I can just blame on him, and she can't really get mad at me.
Exactly.
So I started collecting Mythics in, I think it was the in-stock sale of February 2021 is when I started buying them myself.
Wow.
Bought a bunch of dwarves because dwarves are my favorite faction. Love dwarves. Just everything dwarf, I'll buy it. Like you can ask Anthony. I think the first one was coming in 2022.
So how come you're in Anthony House Seal's section in Legion's Con, huh?
Because it's easier for me to just hand him the money like this and be like, I'll take that one instead of walk around like 7 booths and buy them. So it's working out great for me, but not for my wallet.
Yeah. Well, as we'll see, you have a couple of a lot of cool dwarf stuff. So I'm sure the money will be coming around in a circle from Anthony. So.
Yeah.
And then I got into it because the other Ben kept sending me all the cosmic links when like book 1 came out and stuff like that. And I'm a huge sci-fi guy, so I was like, all right, I'm in.
They got you.
They got me. They pulled me in.
And then the problem is if you're into one line then and then you start getting into the customizing, you're like, well, those parts in the Mythic figure might go with the cosmic figure.
Yeah. And then and now that we're designing our own stuff pretty heavily now, it's like, well, I can just make whatever I want now to go with that figure and make our ideas come to life. It's awesome. So
awesome. So
they roped me in good.
So who does the 3D printing then? Is it a joint effort or?
So we all have 3D printers. I have the shop pretty much set up at my house, but Bang's got one at his house because he's also dabbling in the designing as well. So he's been doing some designs at his house, test printing and printing a bunch of companions for us. So team effort.
Yeah, but like where we're sitting now is like the primary Borderland Hoard, the Hoard house, as we like to call it. So we have like our printing farm set up back there. So we have 5 printers set up. And those things are pretty much, as I said, just been running nonstop, just getting ready for Legion's Con. So
fantastic. And straight into Rich's luggage.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think like Rich has been one of our biggest supporters from like day one. I've always seen him just like liking or commenting on a lot of our designs and stuff we've been putting up. So again, Rich, we appreciate it, man.
Oh, no problem. It's great stuff. John, our listeners probably know, but I bought a full custom figure off Ben last year.
Yeah.
And I didn't know Ben. And I he posted a picture of the figure and was like, that's incredible. I need that figure. So I messaged him going, please can I get this figure? Please can I get the figure? And then when I went to pick it up from the booth, all of a sudden I saw all this amazing stuff and I was like, oh my God, Oh my God. There was loads of like sculpts I hadn't seen before and all sorts of stuff. So as soon as you guys were saying we were going to do our own website and that, I was like, yep, okay, I'm going to keep an eye out for this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we got the Legion's Con is like, because we travel over, obviously, we especially 3D stuff is brilliant because it's doesn't take that much room in the luggage, you know. I mean, okay, and I'm looking at some of your stuff and it might take a little bit more room. Seeing what you're coming up with, but you know, if you're getting 10 or 15 heads off of to do customs or whatever, that's not going to be like getting 10 or 15 figures off the Horseman where you're basically trying to ship them back. So
only rookies do that, John. If you know what you're doing, you can get 40 figures from a Horseman in one side of a suitcase.
Yeah, that's true. And give your roommate a headache the morning after.
Tinnitus with all the packaging opening and that. I apologize.
After kind of one of the biggest weekends of the year for partying and stuff like that, whatever. You know,
I remember you guys posting those pictures of you like the day you guys were like packing out of the hotel trying to get everything in. I was like, wow, that's a game of Tetris right there. But you did it.
Oh,
and then we got to the air. You go, John.
The whole weekend watching this pile in the corner build up, and I was like, how's he gonna do? What's he gonna do with that? You know, he's gonna have to pay on this, pile here at the end of the weekend. Something's gonna have to happen with it.
Yeah, we got to the airport and I hadn't thought at all about weight. So I put my big check-in bag on the scales and it comes up at 57 pounds and the limit's 50. And I'm like, oh. So there I am on the floor of Newark Airport with like underwear coming out while I'm making space and
swapping things around. Creased over laughing at him.
Yeah. And it worked. I got it all. I swapped stuff around and I managed to get it all. Perfect. But it was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Just pay for the extra bag this year, Rich.
It was $200. There was no way I was paying for the extra bag.
No, but if you pay in advance.
Oh, in advance. That's $100 in advance. But still,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's going to happen. So, right, guys, let's have a little look at a couple of pieces you wanted to highlight for Legion's Con. So you very kindly sent over some pictures. So first up here, we have a bunch of mounts. Looks like a wolf, a boar, and some sort of a cat.
Big cat.
Panther. With the wolf guy, which I've seen that custom posted. In the group. It's awesome. Really, really nice.
Yeah, so Chris Brennan did that one. So if you've seen all the Battle Beast customs in the different cabals, the Cosmic and
that's him. That's
so Chris painted that. Yeah, he's with us in the Borderland Hoard. He does a lot of painting for us too. So yeah, it's the four of us. He comes over often and sits and grabs pieces to paint, and we try to do some of our designs to kind of help out some of his battle beasts here and there as best we can.
He's one of those guys that people outside of the community that I know of because they're into battle beasts or something like that that he's done, and they go, "Oh, that's that guy that does battle beasts with Mythic Legions." So
he showed us some of his newer stuff too, and he's got some really cool stuff coming. So we're excited about that.
Yep.
It's all talent here, Rich, isn't it?
It is. But I mean, the wolf custom, the painted wolf custom on the right there is. I think when they first showed that, John, I think you, me, and Mal in our chat were just like, "Oh my God, that's amazing!"
Yeah,
the parts are brilliant. The paint job's incredible. It's just like, what a figure.
Yep.
So that'll be on the table at Legion's Con this year, and then he's working on another now. We'd love a few from him. But I mean, we could probably pre-order that one for you if you wanted to.
Oh, damn it.
No. Let's let our listeners have a chance, Rich.
Yeah.
Or you can just buy it and do a giveaway to the listeners, Rich. Huh?
No. If I ever get my hands on that, it's not going anywhere.
So, guys, tell us about these mounts. Then, how does that work? Is it one solid piece of resin? Is it a kit? Is it?
John, can I cut across you for a second as well?
Yeah.
So, are they mounts for goblins, or are they like companions more for the taller figures?
It's a companion line, but we did some modifications on some. Ben's got one right here.
So I can make you big here if you want to see for our video version.
So the reason why we kind of went this route is everyone knows of D20 Studios. They kind of have the wolves, the boars, the griffins coming out. Yeah. And again, it's very hard to compete with that price point because they're like $120 for like an articulated, fully painted action figure. So again, we knew we weren't going to go the mount route, so we kind of wanted to do more of like a companion piece. So again, like that's why we showed it next to that wolf custom that we had, so you can kind of gauge size. So can you use this as a mount? Yeah, for like goblins and smaller characters. But we also wanted to make this like fully customizable. So like again, like you have different head options. So like the wolf here has 4 different heads that you can pick to choose for whatever you want. Again, it does have a sword that is fully removable. It can hold it in its mouth. Again, this armor is removable. So again, if you wanted to paint underneath it, and there is like a saddle option, as I said, for like the smaller mythics. So again, fully customizable. We sell it as like a full kit, but if you wanted to like grab pieces here and there for it, we do have that option as well. But that's a little bit of the background of why we went this route. As I said, hard to compete with the D20. But something to just be a companion with a lot of those mythic and cosmic. It would be nice to have that on the shelf.
Definitely, I've got a lot of time for companion animals.
Yeah, I think we've
buy cheap
mentioned
ones
that before.
off eBay or whatever sort of thing. But these are superb.
Yeah, and that like that is it the Belualith figure that's coming with this kind of bone dog?
Yep.
That's that kind of same thing with the companion kind of animal.
Yep.
So these are really cool. And as a painter myself, I'm looking at these going, these are a lot of fun to paint, because you got the animal part.
When you see them,
armor.
Yeah, when you see them in person with the textures and everything on like the armor, even like the cloth. Like again, we've been working a lot with John Luca, who does a lot of our sculpting for us.
Yeah.
Like as I said, like you can see pictures of a lot of our stuff, but once you see it in hand and the amount of detail, like you'll see some of the pictures that we sent you guys, like our shark, those cosmic shark heads. Like when you get that in hand, you can almost see like the denticles or like that sandpaper skin finish on the shark itself.
Oh, wow.
Like he goes all out when it comes to this stuff. Like it's amazing, like how he can just take one of our like designs and make it real and like elevate it. He's phenomenal at what he does.
Mm-hmm.
So again, like all 3 of these were sculpted by him. And we give him a design and what he comes out with, I'm just like, I can't believe you made it real.
And what form are those designs in? Do you do a drawing or?
Yep. So we do a lot of drawing, and then Ben takes it and like Photoshops it up to make it look obviously better than what we could draw up.
Yeah, we're not artists.
Yeah.
I do a lot of the renders. So
yep.
We'll make some renders and concept art, and then our sculptors will work with that as like a jumping off point. But we can't give John Luke enough props. Like, we try to give him creative freedom too to help like take our design and evolve it into something amazing, and he continues to kill it.
Then it seems like every time we send him like 3 or 4 designs, we get back 5 designs because there's always something that he throws in, like an extra head or a part or something that we didn't think of, that he's like, oh, I got carried away and I made like a blaster or something. Like our dwarf set that we sent him, the Cosmic Dwarf, he added that. We didn't even think of that, and he added that. He's like, I was having fun doing it, and I threw this in there, and like he just kills it every single time.
Wow. And here's a painted version of one of those. So
yep. So that was the wolf that I just showed. Yep.
That's amazing. Who painted that one?
Good. I painted that one.
Wow.
Yeah.
You can paint,
so we ended up
paint.
Yeah, we put that as one of the prizes for the Cabal Cares charity that we had a little while
that's
ago.
Cool.
So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That was for Ralph.
Another
Yep.
That was for Ralph. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Awesome, guys. Awesome.
Another head's size swappable in terms of the peg and that sort of thing.
Yep. So like
so if you want a big head on a wolf, you're okay, sort of thing. Yeah.
Yep. So like the boar has like an armored helmet and then like an unarmored. The panther has 3 different heads, like a hooded, like almost like a ninja stealth type hood, and then like this almost like Aztec kind of head that I absolutely love, and then just a plain panther head. And then the wolf has, as I said, 4 different ones, which are pretty crazy.
We're doing a ram head for this.
Yeah. Yep. And we are doing a ram head too to swap onto the board.
Yeah, I actually forgot about that head. That's I think we were talking earlier. That's another head that I have to print that I completely forgot about until right now.
Yeah.
We're moving.
The dwarf lovers will
5/6 weeks till Legion's Con. Sorry, Rich.
Yeah.
I was going to say the dwarf lovers will love the ram head.
Yeah.
That will go well.
And all the tack and the gear, that's what makes it for me. I mean, obviously the animal is cool, but all the little bits just bring it up a level.
And what's cool too, not in this picture though, but on that board you can actually sheathe 2 different swords that comes with it too. So he's kind of like a squire type companion.
Ah, okay. It's a bit like this one here with the panther.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love
And
that.
this one was painted by Chris Brown.
Yep. And Mark painted the boar in the other picture.
Yeah, we're a cat family here, so I think some of those could be coming back over the water. Nice. Right. Here's a sculpt. Is it a frog?
Salamander or frog, either one. Yeah. So we just wanted.
I'm sorry, guys. John's just a heathen. That's clearly a salamander.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we like Jeremy. We like our critters here too. So we do a lot of animal sculpts here and there.
And that's why you'll be getting a lot of my money at Legion's Con.
Yeah, so this is a head and pauldron set with the torso. So and is this supposed to go on a 2.0 or 1.0 build?
We have both options. So we have both a 1.0 and a 2.0.
Yep. So you can do like that stocky goblin builder body, or you can go with like the skinnier goblin, like legs and arms. So
gotcha. Yeah,
nice.
It's really nice, really nice.
Yeah, I love that sculpt. When I saw that, it was just like, oh my god. You know, my love of lizard men. That's edging us towards that. So that's all sorts of good.
Here's a custom dwarf. What do we see here? So, the attachments into the head. That must be something you guys did.
Yeah. Yep. So we did a head last year, kind of like a 40K Warhammer. But those are the wings off the helmet we have, and then that's just a regular custom that I did out of Dwarf Builder.
Nice.
Like your Templar one from last year, John.
A little bit, yeah. Actually, yeah, without minus the soft goods.
So the fire that was hanging, is that something you guys have done as well, or is that?
No, so that I can't remember where I got that, but the plate and the chains that are holding it are from Olithia?
Mm-hmm.
She has those, so I put that in there. Mounted that to a axe handle, dremeled that out, and then just went from there.
Nice.
You know, sometimes you got to set the undead on fire with a dwarf.
Totally. So this is dwarf custom. I guess this is your love of dwarfs here.
Yeah, I have an issue with dwarfs.
Is this a Toy Forge head?
I think that might be.
Yeah, I think I reckon.
I have so many boxes. Every time I see custom parts and stuff, I end up buying more than I sell. And if I could show you the background, I think I have 3 or 4 boxes like this of just custom parts I haven't even gotten to yet.
So you guys will have like customs for sale as well that might not just be with your parts. They could be just customs that you've done because
so like this one and the Templar, those will be at the table as well for sale.
Cool. And here's another one. This is some sort of a knight gladiator. What helmet is this one?
So I think that is I want to say, I might be wrong, but I think it's a Wolf King custom helmet. Because I bought back when we first started getting into this last year, I was buying collections and boxes of 3D parts from other collectors that were getting out.
Gotcha.
So there's a ton of parts that I don't know exactly where they came from, but I think this might be a Wolf King head. I painted it up, added the sword and stuff. And I was trying to go for like some sort of like Legionnaire, Gladiator, Knight type character, and then I got the soft goods from, was it Max Bird?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the Max Bird kit. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking at that head. It looks very similar to my Action Figure Customs one. That I've got one of my figures.
I think it's Wolf King though. I think I recognize that one from them. A goblin then as well. So you're even covering the goblins.
I try to spread it out. I think that set is from Jason Rodriguez. Those another set that I had in the box that I had bought and stuff, painted it up, put it together. But you know, I got to venture away from the dwarves, otherwise I'd have too many.
Said no dwarf lover ever.
That's true.
Right, and here's some cosmic kits. So tell us about this one.
Brand new sneak peek right here. We haven't shown this to anyone else yet.
Oh wow, look at that. So get onto YouTube if you want to see this.
Yeah.
So tell us about this one. It's on a tusk build. I can see a torso, pauldrons, arm attachments.
Yep.
And obviously the head.
Yep. You want to?
Sure. Yeah. So this one was heavily inspired because we used to all be into Gundams too, actually. So we really wanted to do a Gundam like tribute or inspired by sort of build. So, you'll see the shoulders have a lot of that hard surface model like look that you see with hard sci-fi, and the torso as well. It's a very broad figure that we wanted to go for, and you'll see this. I think we sent dwarf pictures too that actually show just how stocky a dwarf could be with this, and just a real unit of a build.
Yeah, which I'm happy with.
Yeah.
Yep. And again, like
pretty good.
Yeah, and the one arm attachment there, Ben sculpted that one, designed that up.
Yeah.
Nice.
And again, the other arm attachment comes with the Cosmic Dwarf set that was done by Gianluca.
Yeah, I did the blaster type on the wrist there, and John Luke did the forearm gun.
Yep.
And that blaster that Ben did has the peg hole in it so that you can either mount it on the arm or on the waist belt with the standard cosmic peg that comes with every other figure. So he designed that up so it accepts it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Awesome,
I really like that.
Yeah.
So is the hand blaster the one that Gian did?
Yep.
Is that the
So
the
that's
extra
the
thing
one
you
that
were
he
talking about
threw
before?
in as an extra, got carried away.
Yeah.
Here's a blaster, and we're just like, this thing is amazing.
Yeah. And again, even that the like sawfish head was one of the ones too, because you'll see the next two pictures is like a regular like great white and then like a hammerhead. And he was like, hey, I again got carried away and threw in a sawfish, which we were actually going to ask him to do. And it was like he read our mind, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, John, these three heads are pretty much top of my to buy list at Legion's Con.
Yeah,
So.
I think you've already mentioned it on the show, and you've definitely mentioned it in private. That's for sure.
Oh yes,
and as I said, when you see
and cosmic, boom.
Yeah, and when you see these like in hand, as I said, just even on like the hammerhead, like just the wrinkles like up towards where like that hammer of the head meets the neck, like it's insane the amount of detail he put in this and how well it like prints on the printers that we have, and it still has that like dentical, almost sandpaper feel.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, we find a lot of like miniature painters really love our stuff because of all the intricacies and the details, So it's kind of like those crossover painters seek us out and find us,
Yeah.
Nice. And will you have painted versions of these heads available?
Yes. Yep.
We have a couple examples here that, again, they're painting some as well, but Chris Brennan's been painting some of our heads. So those people that follow Battle Beast and like his stuff, we will have painted options of pretty much everything I think you've seen so far done by him.
Excellent.
Yep. And the other thing we're trying to do better this year that we didn't do the first year that we were selling is trying to match things already to existing figures. Like the first time like we went there, I painted all of these like cosmic heads, like random colors, and it's not like a pop and swap type of thing. So like this year we're trying to be better about like matching it to like the Tusk pilot, to the Cosmic Waltor, to like the Sentry, the Science Officer, like all of those. So it'll be much easier for someone to be like, hey, I want to spice up my Tusk army and just grab a head and pop it on. So
yeah, I think that helps. Yeah, definitely.
You did some of that last year, didn't you, John?
Yeah. Although we didn't have that many cosmic last year, but I did a few for the Sentry. Yeah, but the Walter was the problem because I didn't know exactly. Obviously the Walter was coming out at Legion's Con, and would have been. I matched it to the orange on the Tiger, the deluxe Tiger, which was pretty similar. It was close enough.
Yeah.
So here's the Hammerhead. Wow.
Yep.
So good.
So good. Yeah. One way or another, I'll be getting some of these just to paint, just for my own fun.
Because you keep talking about it, but they'll actually be able to see it.
Yeah. So it's all backwards, so I apologize. But again, that's like that Waltor Cosmic painted, and Chris did that up.
Yeah.
But like, if you can like see like what I was talking about with like those wrinkles in the skin, like just the amount of detail that Jean-Luc put into this stuff is just absolutely amazing.
Yeah, so he knows what he's doing.
Sure does.
Awesome. Then we're on to the dwarfs. So cosmic dwarfs. Myself and Mal have been talking about this. We're well into the cosmic dwarfs.
I was going to say
that are out now. Yeah, bore enriched tears of them.
Mal's going to be all over this one. He's just going to be like,
Yeah, so we did 3 different style heads to match this dwarf set that are all dwarves. So a little bit of variety on the helmets and the beards and stuff. So,
and that was one of those ones, like, once we got it in hand and printed, like, we thought the renders that Jean-Luc sent us were great, but man, like, in hand, these pieces are just really, really stunning.
Yeah, they look nice. Yeah, this is why I can't wait to get the 2-pack of dwarves, just for more the dwarf lower legs and stuff to change it up. The non-armored lower legs would be nice for Cosmic for sure. Really nice, guys, really nice. And any other anything else that might be coming out of the fire for Legion's Con? Anything that's maybe you don't want to talk about, but you might be working on? Or
we have one thing that we've been working on. It's going to be a Legion's. I've got the 4 of them set up right there. So with Legion's Con doing their like day 1, day 2 exclusive figures and stuff, they have like the sword. I forgot their names.
The sword, like the monk and like the blade master.
So
you show those.
Yeah, we have and Gaspar.
Yes. So we've come up with, because of our area, I think we're all going to do some sort of like exclusive part to add to it, so that when you go to the show, you buy the figure and you can buy all the parts and kind of leave with your own custom figure by the time you leave. So we've come up with a few different head sculpts.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And then on this guy, you can remove the hat.
Oh, sweet.
Oh, that's great.
There's a peg so it fits right back in. And then we also have a different sculpt where it's kind of like,
So these are orcs, and the first one had a kind of Asian type of hat. Yep. And this one is bandaged. Is that a bandage?
Yeah. It's got like a bandage face. Backwards on the camera, I'm losing it.
It's okay.
But then, those are the 2 different heads, but each one set will have the peg to fit the hat, and the other one won't, so you don't have to wear the little hat that we have.
Okay, gotcha. Wow, that's awesome. That's cool. Just to kind of link into what's going on there as well. I mean, obviously, sometimes that's tricky to do because of time limits, or not knowing exactly how it's going to work, or obviously we said it before about paint matching a figure you don't have is a little bit of a lottery, but very good. And so you boys are all staying together in the hotel and everything like that?
Yep.
Yeah. In the venue hotel, are you heading to intern at all?
Sadly, not this year. No. We did last year, which was a phenomenal.
Got last year. Okay, I don't feel too bad for you then.
Yeah. But it's one of those things like
I'll go every year.
Yeah, I would go every year, 100%.
Totally.
Like in hopes to see if we had gotten an intern. Like I had booked a room from like Wednesday afternoon, so that we didn't have, because last year we left our house up here at like 2:30 in the morning. I drove over to Ben's house, picked him up, then drove all the way to New Jersey. Got to the studio for like, I think it was like 6:30 in the morning to make sure that we didn't have hit traffic. We didn't go to bed till like 10 o'clock at night. It was a long day. So this year I had a hotel from Wednesday to the end of the show.
Yep.
Yeah, we're there Wednesday as well. So that's cool. We'll definitely have an early in the week hookup then.
Oh, I saw. Begins. Yeah, I saw Ben at intern last year because he said, "Oh, you won't miss me. I'm the really tall guy." Yeah. I was like, oh yeah, there's a tall. Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
And what was your favorite part of Legion's Con last year then?
I think just getting to talk to everybody.
Yeah.
Because it's been like a growing community for us, like meeting new people every time. Because we've gone. This will be our 3rd Legion's Con this year, and every year we meet new people, make new contacts, learn something new about what we're doing, or some better way to do something. Like. The first year we just went to the show, didn't have a table. That was 2022. Last year we had a table, and then like we did the last minute panic like we're doing now. But like Len from Wolf King was great. He printed some stickers for us, some shirts. He did our signage. Like he came through because I wasn't planning ahead, and I was like, "Hey, can you do this?" He's like, "Well, we got like 3 weeks to Legion's Con. If you're okay picking it up the day of," I'm like, "Yeah, that works out great." So he helped us, and then like Anthony and Chris and all those guys helped us.
Yeah. And that's one of the other things I'm like excited about too with this, the first alliance is just a lot of the guys that have helped us go from like a small booth in the back with 6 customs to like where we're at now. We're all just going to be in that like same like kind of like shopping bazaar area. So to kind of like just continue building that relationship and that friendship with everyone. And again, you guys are going to be there, which is going to be awesome. Like Stefan, who, as I said, is a national treasure, and we must protect that man. Like just one of the nicest people on the planet. He's going to be there. Like Immortal Collections, again, they're one of the first people that got us our first like unique sculpt. So. And then like Giovanni, who again, just phenomenal work, marketing me, buying me a custom from his last show, that I was just drooling over the entire time. And he surprised me with it, which was awesome. But just the fact that that Anthony came up with this like shopping bazaar area and like just getting us into the mix with like all of like the other people going to the show, I think is an awesome idea. And as I said, just excited to keep building that relationship with everyone.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
No, we were excited about the bazaar, aren't we, John? We were slightly worried about our backs.
Oh, yeah.
There's no chairs allowed, according to Anthony. But other than that, we were very excited about it.
Yeah, I think adrenaline will be fine. The plane back will be like, oh, crap. That's what happened to me last year. I had no action pains until the plane back, and then I was like, ooh, everything hurts. How did that happen?
Yeah.
And guys, I got a question. So in terms of the stuff you're bringing, if people are looking at your website, everything on the website, is that all going to be available at Legion's Con? Or is there certain stuff that
and we actually have a ton of stuff that's not on there because, as I said, do we keep printing inventory and trying to get stuff ready, or do we update the website? So we're trying to do both in tandem, but right now getting the inventory is precedent. So we're trying to get that done first.
Yeah. But, excellent. Because there's a couple of the pieces of yours I desperately want to get. So that's good to know.
Yeah. Just let us know and we'll make sure we got inventory of it. So
we can make you a little bit sobbing.
I can hear it in the hall now. It is breaking down crying.
Still one of my favorite sound bites. I love that.
You say that like it's a joke, John. There's like a list though you can't really see on there.
Oh yeah, he has a spreadsheet, guys.
Spreadsheet, and there's just Borderland Hoard, Borderland Hoard, Borderland.
Just think
like
of it this way, right?
We love it.
So you're sitting there on the east coast of United States, wonderful part of the world, and there's a guy in Bristol in the UK with a spreadsheet with loads of your stuff that he's going to buy off you in November. You know, like
it's funny though. Like,
that's how this community has kind of affected you. This is how weird it's got. You know,
it's different from like a year. Like last year, we were driving down, me and him, to Legion's Con, sweating bullets, worried that nobody was going to like any of our stuff. We weren't going to sell anything. We were going to do anything. And you were the first one. You messaged Ben, and we had literally just crossed from New York into New Jersey, and I'm like, yes, we're in Jersey, we're almost there. And Ben goes, I already sold a figure, I'm good.
And as I said, it was awesome that you messaged me, because it's one of those things like you don't do it to like sell it. Like my goal was always to like make something that someone wanted on their shelf. And the fact that you messaged me and you said that you loved it, like, because again, I loved that figure. I put a lot of work into it because it was like a full repaint and a lot of detail into it. But no, that was it made my day. I'll tell you what. And we were exhausted, so that was better than coffee for me, because as I said, we got up at 2:30. We were driving in. I got that message. I'm like, I'm good. I'm good for the rest of the day now. So
I know you saw, Ben, that I posted up on the Cabal yesterday, and I did a bio myself. So it's one of the pride of place things.
And when you listen back to this episode, we recorded a little link, the three of us, because we managed to get Mal yesterday before he went away for the weekend for recording. So we did a little intro to the episode of the 2 interviews, you and Immortal, and we talked about that figure in particular. So
we did,
So
yes. I was saying to the boys when I was writing the bio. I was talking about his big demon bell swinging. I suddenly thought, this is turning into some sort of not suitable for Legion's Con story. So let me it's not XXX rated. Let me just dial this back a little bit and change the wording slightly. And there we go. It's chiming. That's better. That's
after hours.
You don't want to get into the realm of kind of smutty Star Wars fan fiction or something, you know?
No.
But that is one thing I do.
Jeremy Gerard message.
Yeah. But that's one thing I do love that you guys do. It's just those bios, man. Like the life you put behind a lot of this stuff. And as I said, I would love to come up with a custom and just have you guys come up with the bio, because as I said, you guys you write good stories. So
Rich might buy a few more off you, and you get them for free.
That works.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we put this on YouTube now as well, and but we primarily are still an audio podcast in the way that it's produced, and so that's why we do all that kind of stuff with the bio reading, and if the stories, and we're able to do them because it's fun, and I think that's kind of maybe our point of difference compared to a lot of the other awesome shows.
100%.
Cool. Well, guys, that was a absolutely amazing rundown of what you have, and I'm sure it's only the tip of the iceberg, really. But
it is, yeah. But no, we're excited.
It's good to tease people and to get them interested and get them over to the table, and then that's when the real action will happen, huh?
Yeah. Anybody listening, do go to Borderland Hoard table, but I will have beaten you there because I'm setting up close by them. So
and you've heard them now. You see that they're actually even nice guys. They're not just out for your money with the rest of stuff.
Yeah.
Guys, can I ask you one more question before you go? So there's a piece on your website that's like to me, it looks like some sort of troll goblin type thing with like a triangle over the front of its face.
Yep.
What is that? Where did the idea for that come from?
That's this guy over here. That's Ben.
Anything that gives you nightmares probably came from me. So.
Oh, you have it?
Okay.
I'll grab it real quick.
So I think his name is Visions of Onrai, I think is the name.
Yeah.
So that's actually based off Greek mythology of like the figure that visits you in your dreams, I believe.
This guy?
So we try to take influence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So good. I've got to get one of those.
Oh, I haven't seen that guy before. Wow.
Yeah, John, seriously, check the website out.
I have been going through the website, but as I said, there's so much stuff.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that's not on the website yet as well. Like, I think we have another 10 pieces we're hoping to get done before LegionsCon.
Yep. And that was a Jason Rodriguez sculpt, just to shout him out too. We work with him sometimes too.
Yep.
So
yeah.
Ah, cool. Oh, so you got
Greek
Jason to do a sculpt for you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
I said you got Jason to do a specific sculpt for you guys. Okay.
Yeah, he's done quite a few for us. We've had sculpts done by Jason. Immortal Collections did our entire Gladiator set for Ogre scale. We've got some sculpts from Headhunters Customs as well, like Druids and stuff like that. And then we got a lot from
Gianluca. Yep. So it's they've all been phenomenal to work with too. So
for sure. And Rich, Greek mythology, that's your thing?
Yeah, I was going to say Greek mythology makes me want that even more. So that's what my degree's in. So
it's
okay. I want it. Yeah. And you got another thank you. You got like another one that's like almost like an Anubis head, but a robotic sort of look to it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And we are going to print that in Ogre scale too. And we did that. We did a couple of them in Ogre scale. We don't have the Anubis one ready. But these, we did like a whole like cosmic Egyptian headline that Jason sculpted for us. But these look phenomenal on the Ogre scale bodies.
Wow.
And as I said, that Anubis one in Ogre scale just takes it up to another level.
Oh, look forward to seeing that. Yeah, my current plan is 1.0 scale is to make it one of my Templars of Doom.
There you go.
So, yeah.
Oh, it's going to get a bio then.
Oh, yes.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
Guys, thanks a million for your time.
Thanks.
A great chat.
We loved it. Thank you.
Can't wait to see you in November.
Stay safe out there.